Hello all, how are you doing? I can see some familiar faces
Good
and some
afternoon.
familiar
Is it
names.
good evening?
Evening, but we might be having some international attendance like Eric, who might be calling from somewhere that is morning. Hi, Eric.
Is it one Eric? Is there another Eric? I'm not sure.
It's one Eric. Yeah,
International, I like that.
yes,
I'm very local.
yes,
I like that.
yeah,
Edward,
yes.
thank you so much for coming in again.
No
I
worries.
look forward, yeah, to hear from you. And Eric, karibu sana. We si mtu wa huko kuvuka boda. Eh?
I was actually this close
Bado.
of not actually being able to make it. I had a small, slight accident. My daughter
Oh,
was playing with my son, and my son poked my daughter's eye with his finger.
I,
So,
no points for guessing where
pole.
he gets that from, Edward.
especially after International Day for Women, I
My
have
goodness.
actually
But I
had to
hope
call.
she's well.
She's well. She just got some drugs and some eye drops, and then
Oh,
we are good to go.
sawa, sawa.
Should we give the rest a couple of minutes, or we just proceed and they'll join us as we go ahead?
We give them another, let's start at 6:05.
Okay.
The most it can go is 6:10, 10 past 6.
Yes.
We
No
have
problem.
we have we have about 49 registrations.
Yes.
So we also hope to get more. In fact, I want to send out another reminder
Yeah.
and see if you can get guys get coming in for this as well
No
in
worries.
numbers.
No worries. No
Yeah,
worries.
thank you.
It
Mhm.
will not be a long one. We had a similar discussion with Eric in another forum, and we were talking about killing people with PowerPoint presentation. So I will not do that. I'll just have one slide on the display and make sure that we talk what is more about Agile. Agile is more about listening than talking. So I will try my best and make this not more of me lecturing or telling people what this is all about, rather than we have an open forum whereby we all have to discuss, because we have people like Eric also who have been project managers and now are also into Agile like me. Hi, Edward Warwimbo, how are you doing?
Fantastic. How are you? Sorry to hear about your daughter,
Yes. Don't worry, it's nature of parenting.
but generally doing well.
Yeah,
Glad to be here. Glad to have a listen.
no problem. And also talk, not only listen, but also participate.
Sure, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. I think we can start and the rest can join us. So I will not, let me just see whether I can get that one slider to avoid the awkwardness of us having to stay at each other's image. At least I put something there. Okay, you let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, Edward, before you start, let me
Yes.
just introduce, let me please welcome guys to this
Okay.
webinar. I think Edward is this part of us that he just wants to continue. Thank you so much, Edward, for your time. Today, we look forward to more insights, just as it has been even previous discussions we've had with you. I just want to recognize Do we have any new PMPs certifications here? CMP, CAP, CAPM, PGM, PGPM? Kindly just raise up your hand. We really appreciate you. Congratulations. We need to let you know that we have volunteering slots, and being a member, there's so much you can get from the website, the pmi.org. So welcome so much. If you're in there, please just raise up your hand. And I also want to recognize the board members that are with us today. We have Ken, we have Jean. Kindly, I'll give you some time to say hello and maybe give us some updates on what's going on. I'm not so sure Abdul is here with us. Maybe he will for the time being, but I know you'll step out briefly, but he'll also say hi as he introduces Edward to us. So thank you all. We'll have to move on as we expect more guys to join in. And thank you so much for coming in for this particular webinar. And I look forward to understand more of Agile. And if you're a seasoned project manager, are you an Agile person or not? Well, Edward will let us know. All right, that's it for me. So welcome, Ken, Jean. Any other board member with us, please take the floor, and then you can have it to Abdul as Abdul introduces Edward. Thank you.
Hi, Brenda. This is Jean. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for hosting another event, a very good event. And I think Abdul, I can see Abdul is already on the call. I'm happy that we're having more discussions on Agile. And actually this Agile topic is something for me that I'm pursuing, still trying to get a bit more knowledgeable about it. And I know there's quite a group of people who would also be interested. So I really applaud you for setting this up. I'm the speaker, Edward. Edward is indeed a seasoned, he's a seasoned project manager and a program manager. So looking forward to seeing or to hearing what Edward is going to say. Just maybe one or two things that I wanted to add about PM, about the chapter. This year has started on a good foot. We have got new members, a lot more new members, and new board members, Brenda being one of them, doing a great job on events. And we also have, I just want to remind the members who are on the call, that we do have the AGM, the annual general meeting, which is coming up on April the 7th. Please book that on your calendar. I believe you should have already got the notice by now. Please ask any one of the team members of in the volunteer group so that you can find out a little bit more about it. But otherwise, not to take away from what we're starting to do today, look forward, Edward, to what you're going to tell us about Agile. Thanks very much, Brenda.
All right, thank you, Jean. Abdul?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our this evening webinar. We are so glad to have Edward again, and we expect to learn much more on Agile from Edward this evening. I would like to invite Edward to introduce himself, since he's no stranger to PMI Kenya and our events. Welcome, Edward.
Thanks a lot, and much appreciated. Many familiar faces. Jean, always a pleasure. You owe me. We were supposed to have a call last year. It ended like that without having a sit down. So you owe me that cup of coffee. We discuss more. As for the rest, always a pleasure attending these sessions. And like I started saying that this will not be like a lecture whereby I come and tell you what I have done to reach where I am. Rather, it's more of a discussion whereby I tell you the bit of the journey, what I did, and some of the things that I have learned through that. Then we make the floor open where we discuss, raise questions, and so that people can understand that it is not a competition whereby I went somewhere and found that there is this huge misconception that Scrum Master or being a product owner is at a different end of the spectrum as compared to project manager, program managers, which are, I think, which is totally different or totally wrong approach of looking at things. And for that, that's why I think this talk is important for us, at least to remove the myth that project managers or program managers cannot become agilists. So this is the crux of all this. So if you don't mind, I will not share my camera. I'll just put on the screen, and then at least so that we at least discuss from a common footing on where this is all about. Just let me know when you will be able to see my screen. Anything from that side?
Not yet.
Okay. Kids are in the house, so you can imagine the Wi-Fi is, they are streaming everything that is possible under the sun. Now, okay.
Yes, this is
So,
nice. Good.
okay. So the purpose of the talk is I'll just try to debunk the myth that the PMs can never be agilists, and mostly we look at maybe the Scrum Master role in this. So this being a PMI forum, I believe majority are either PMPs, CAPMs, or PGMPs, or planning to be there in terms of they have maybe gone through the course or are intending to maybe get certification later, or some are just in the group for knowledge sharing, but they know more about project management. I know gentlemen like Clement Tongi. Once we interacted a couple of years back when he was working for the UN and several others here. So I know most of your skill set. And I know some of you are thinking with Agile being like, I can say, the new buzzword, and people are saying that you need to be agile, or this is an agile project management organization, or we are planning to deploy this in an agile framework. So the talk has always been agile, agile, agile in, I think, the last couple of years, mostly in this part of the world. Although in Europe and other places like South Africa, agile has been there longer. So for me, when I give you my background, I will start that I have been doing projects for a couple of years and a bit of program management here and there. And it was only like a couple of years, like I would say like 3 or 5 years ago, I was introduced to Agile. And mostly, I would say that I was a Scrum Master at the beginning. I was either a project manager handling an aspect of a project that, or a component that is Agile within the whole, I can say, ecosystem of the delivery. We can call it a program. Yeah. But at that time, we used to believe everything is a project. It's only when maybe you go through what a program is all about, and you will discover that sometimes we have those misconceptions. In the NGO world, you'll hear something actually called a program, but in fact, it's actually a project. In other aspect, you'll hear this is a project, but when you look down, you'll find that project manager has several project senior, junior project managers under them, and per se it becomes either a portfolio or a program. But semantics later, that's a discussion for another day. So we all have been, I can say, exposed to waterfall projects. For those of you who have been delivering software related, I can say, deliverables. So we all know about waterfall. So a couple of years back, some gentlemen sat together and decided that they will come up with a methodology called Agile for them to be able to deliver softwares. So I will later on maybe share the links for those who may not know what that is all about. But in a nutshell, it was mostly in terms of delivering software products. Now Agile has transformed and gone to other facets. I'm still waiting to see how Agile is going to work in construction. Although when I talk to the teams or where I work from, I normally tell people that if you come to Kenya, and mostly Eastlands, you are going to see some form of agile in the construction industry, whereby they envision that they are going to build a 5-story house. They start with the foundation, they finish first floor, and people enter the ground on the first floor, while the owner waits for a couple of years to recoup his investment, then continue. So per se, we can say we have that in this part of the world, but generally, I have not seen any construction project that is purely agile. We are still on the traditional way of delivering when it comes to that. Agile has also gone towards other aspects that are not related towards IT. And I don't want this to be an agile like discussion. I'm just laying the foundation so that we come and see exactly where agile is coming from. You will find agile in marketing, and I think skilled framework have actually coined that very well. They have even a course and a certification path towards agile in marketing. So that to say has been going well. We have organizations like Safaricom in Kenya, Diageo, who have started to look at agile as a new way of working, and it is encompassing other facets other than IT. You can find it even in finance, whereby people decide in a sprint that maybe is 1 week or 2 weeks what they are going to deliver, and they deliver. So Agile has really transformed from coming from purely software delivery to even other types of operation within the organization. Now to the crux of the matter. Can project managers become agilists? Let me go to the next screen. So this is basically the attributes that when we talk about what project managers are, you'll hear that a project manager has to be an effective have to have effective communication skills, strong leadership skills, good decision making, technical expertise, which I normally question become because are we talking about technical expertise in the project management realm, or are we talking about subject matter experts? In this part of the world, you find that project management may be seen as an add-on to the core skill that the organization is looking for. So you will find if it is in construction, they will ask for maybe a degree in civil engineering, then maybe a couple of years, maybe doing some engineering work. Then they will say, then maybe 3 or 5 years doing project management in the same field, and it's certified in PMP. But in Asia, Europe, and the Americas, you find that this is a discipline by itself, whereby a project manager does not need to be a domain expert in what they are doing. And what happens is they will be able to hire SME within the whole project management environment who will actually be dealing with the core aspect attributed to that domain. To continue, they need to inspire a vision with a team building skills, cool under pressure, good negotiation skills, empathetic, and competence. Now let's go to what the Scrum Master is all about. So you hear collaboration, enabler, that is servant leadership, teacher, mentor, protector, committed to the work, influential, and knowledgeable. Now, when you look at those, basically they appear linearly the same. It's just that when we are talking about effective communication, this other side we are talking about collaboration. So you find that they there is no much difference, but normally what I tell project managers is unlearn what you have maybe learned in project management first, go and learn what Agile talks about, then see what the strengths are you can bring from project management towards the Scrum Master or any Agile role that you might be able to be taking. Questions before I proceed? Okay, note takers. Okay, so let me now talk about the path from project management towards any agile role. Later on, we will discover that depending on which agile framework that you are looking at, there are several roles within them. But the most common role whereby project managers usually fit when they move towards agile is towards the scrum master role. So the first one is learn the agile manifesto. Don't worry, I'll put all this on the chat. You can pick them up. So learn the agile manifesto. That for once, I think is the enabler or the first thing that you should do. And it's not long. I think it should be a couple of pages, but I will confirm later on and let you know. Second is unlearn to become the ringleader. You find that when we are PMs, we actually like the circus master with the whip, maybe whipping the team to ensure that they are able to deliver. But when it comes to agile, you become the servant leader. Servant leader, someone told us that the best example of servant leadership was when Jesus washed the feet of the disciples, something like that. Be there to listen to what the team is looking for you to be able to deliver for them, rather than you coming to tell them exactly what they need, because you might not be the domain expert in what they are doing. I can give you a good example. Currently, I am assisting a certain bank in delivering some of the solutions. I am not an expert in both the banking domain. I am also not an expert in the programming aspect. So I have to listen more than I talk in regards to understand what the pains are in terms from the team as well as from the business. So be the person that actually puts the teams together for them to be able to talk and be there to solve the problem. So that is effective communication. Another thing is communication, change from communication to collaboration. Sometimes we find that we are saying that we are communicating, but what are we doing? We are just talking. I tell you this, you listen and you take into advisement, but per se, it's not collaboration. Collaboration is whereby we sit together, discuss, get the information, and find a common approach towards solving the problem that is there. So that is one aspect that really all agilists need to do, especially as PMs. PMs, we normally try, and I can say this with confidence because I have been there. We try to get everybody to sort out the issues immediately based on the templates that we are given. But when it comes to Agile, you listen to the expert, let them tell you exactly what they require, the timelines to be able for you to deliver. Another aspect is stop trying to become a domain expert. You find that sometimes as PMs, we want to become maybe the risk experts when the risks are being relayed within the project. We all normally want to own the risk, understand it, and try to solve it and try to mitigate it. But if you try that in the agile environment, believe me, you will not be able to deliver. Because if you are working in a place where they do iterations after every 1 week or after every 2 weeks, and maybe you have three teams working in maybe three different things at the same time, your mind will not be able to comprehend all that. So forget trying to be the smartest kid in the room. So learn how to bring in the expert to solve the problems that are within the team or within the stakeholders for you to move ahead. Okay, another thing is avoid getting bullied from the business. So this you will get, especially as a Scrum Master or Agile, and you find that the business might not be able to understand what Agile is. And sometimes Agile has been coined as a process whereby you don't need to plan. You just wake up in the morning and you say, I want this app to do this. And you call the team and you tell them, I want this app to be able to do A, B, and C. Is it possible for me to have it on Friday? I am paying your salaries. You have all the environment, so I need it by Friday. So you find that you need to be able to say no, or put a pause or put a spike in it for you to get more information for you to proceed. Sometimes when I moved towards Agile and Scrum, those was the common fight that we used to get. Somebody will come and tell you that, listen, my understanding for Agile is you are able to start with the minimal information that we have given you to start. Sometimes the minimal information is somebody will come and tell you, I want a house, so start building the house. Basically, you don't know whether they want a one story, they want it to have maybe L-shaped, maybe they want a mud house, maybe they want a house made of timber. They don't know whether they need this number of windows. But basically, when somebody comes and tells you that I am looking for shelter that can accommodate roughly 20 people, but for now, I will be comfortable with what you can be able to deliver. So based on that information, you can be able maybe to whip up a tent for them as they come up with more requirements. So you will spend a lot of time actually educating the business on what Agile is all about. So for your major role would actually not, you might think that your role will be dealing with the team, but I will tell you not. Your most discussion will be with the business for them to understand what Agile is all about and what is required from them. Sometimes you'll find that they want you to take the role of the project manager, whereby your job is to actually follow down on what the cost is, procurement, vendor management, risk management. Well, good. If you are coming from a project management experience, those are, I would say, those are good skills to have, because you will find that you will be able to talk with the actual business owners who own those facets within the organization in a manner that you'll be able to comprehend. So you find that people who come from project management experience can make really good scrum masters. The only challenge that they might face, they might not be able to drop their project management hat, and they will try to bring that within the scrum master environment, which sometimes can end up being disaster. And let me give you a good example. When you convert daily stand-ups to become status meetings to know what haven't you done, why didn't you do it, and whereby so you spend, instead of spending 15 minutes within the stand-up, you end up spending 2 hours trying to discover why somebody could not deliver this, and thereby you become a prefect per se or a bully to try and understand what it is happened. Rather, this a stand-up offers the opportunity for the team to actually know the overall progress and also discover whether they have common blockers and items like that. So for you is to enable the team to be able to talk together and create that harmonious environment. But when the team actually dreads the stand-ups, you would have failed the most important ceremony within Agile. Okay. Another aspect is assumption that the Scrum Master role ends just there. I have met Scrum Masters that get frustrated because they just assumed their role was actually just to facilitate the ceremonies, that is the sprint planning, the daily stand-up, the retro, and the review, and that's it. If there was a blocker, they'll just push it to the product owner, and that's it. But you find that with the way the world is going, the Scrum Master role is requiring a lot, like keeping the risk logs, which you'll find that project managers, we are good at that. You'll find that communicating outside the sphere, you'll find that some Scrum Masters might believe that their role only encompasses discussing with the core team, that's the product owner, developers, and you allow the product owner to actually do the communication with the business. But that might not fly. You will find that sometimes you are hired in organization whereby they believe that the product owner is the subject matter expert who has another core duty. So trying to get a hold of them might not be that easy. So you find that you play the role of influencing more than actually going to remove the blockers that you think are there. And without influencing skills, believe me, you will fail in actually sorting out the blockers. So you have to be really good in actually talking, collaborating, and influencing for that to happen for you. Now, let me go back to the path for you to get there. Any question? I might not see it. Eric?
Yeah, I just want a heads up. I'm not sure whether you're still sharing. Are you sharing your screen?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I stopped sharing. I can put
Got
the
it.
screen back
All
on,
right.
just in case.
Edward, Edward, I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't get that part. If let's say in an organization where the PO, of
Yes.
course, is the subject matter expert and he has some other daily activities to work on,
Yes.
how do you get to, and you can hardly get them. How do you work around that?
I don't know whether I should allow Eric to answer that because we have faced the same scenarios with him, but let me answer that. Yeah. So you find that you actually have to either sit with them or actually, let me not use the word bully, but actually let them know the impact of the delay towards the overall, I can say, deliverables. So if the product owner who has maybe some other job might not maybe be able to sit down with you to solve this issue, normally we just put that as a blocker. If it is affecting 4 developers and they're not able to work for a day, so those are 8 hours multiplied by 4. I may not be good in math, but I think that is roughly like 32 hours of downtime as they wanted this attribute to be blocked. So when you sit down with the product owner or maybe even the sponsors for them to see what is the actual cost to them in terms of the delay, then now they will see the importance of actually them coming to assist you. So it's a very dicey situation. You don't want to be seen as the snitch who is going to complain that this person is not giving the required time. But if you are able to convert to man hours lost, or even sometimes there are people who are actually able even to convert it to dollars. If a developer is paid $25 an hour and they were not able to work because they needed clarity from the business, then those hours are very easy for the business to actually to see if they actually need to hire a product owner to be fully dedicated to the project to solve this one out. So those are some of the measures that we have done to ensure that this is happening. I know it is a battle, but this is the information we have been talking with other product owners and even scrum masters to be able to sort such kind of challenges. Have I answered it well?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Because that actually you justify. You
Yes.
can justify it. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Because sometimes they will not actually budge until they see what is the overall impact it is actually offering the whole team. And remember sometimes that developers might not be employees within the organization. Even you, the Scrum Master, might not be an employee within the organization, and you might be forced to be filling timesheets to show what you have been doing on an hourly basis. So this kind of information actually plays a huge role for the business to actually understand what is the cause of the delays. Okay. Okay, let me go back again to the path that I was talking about. I said with the Learn the Agile Manifesto, avoid being a ringleader, collaborate more than communication, command to influence. You really need to influence. This one, and influencing does not mean actually even outside the team, even within the team. For some of us who have worked with devs, hope they are not devs here or people from a dev background, you will discover that devs sometimes can become difficult because they know their craft and they might take the assumption that you are trying maybe to bully them and you might not understand what it entails for them to be able to deliver. So based on that, learn how to influence. It's easier to get, let me pardon my French, to get flies using honey than using cow dung. So see how you can get the team to actually be able to deliver more without you actually using the stick. Sometimes you'll be forced to use the stick when you have maybe team members that are not delivering. But remember, in agile teams, is per se not about individual effort rather than team effort. So you get the team to actually check itself before it is checked by maybe the hiring manager or maybe the contract manager. I normally tell the teams self-regulation is better than being regulated by another party. So if the team believes maybe one of the front end is not pulling the weight that they require, it's up to the team to say, we actually do not need so and so because they are maybe delaying the project because they maybe don't lack the skills that they are required, or maybe they have bad, a bad attitude towards delivery. So build a culture whereby the team is open to each other and they are able to help each other. And if there is a weak link and they are not able to sort out the challenges within the weak link, they are able to shout early rather than one day before the review for them to come and say they were not able to deliver because maybe a programmer called Edward decided to go on WRC in Naivasha for a week, yet their deliverable was expected over that weekend. Okay, learn to facilitate and influence that I have said. Listen more, talk less. Don't be like me. I think I talk more, but this is something that I'm trying to change, whereby I listen more. And when you have worked with developers, you'll discover that majority don't talk a lot and they like talking based on their work. But it's good for you to create an atmosphere that they are able to talk because based on that, that is how they'll be able to deliver. Coming to talk about this, and for more of the project managers who have been working with remote teams, you will discover that it has been a challenge, especially in this COVID era, whereby devs are not co-located or even teams are not co-located. So you really need to push towards the team to be able to talk more, know each other, and feel confident working with each other. It is very easy when teams are in the office for them to collaborate. I was telling my team the other day when one had a challenge, and it took him nearly more than 12 hours to bring that challenge to the stand up, only to get a resolution within 2 minutes. Somebody to tell him, no, this one can be sorted out by doing this. What you are doing is not correct. And this is the challenge of working in a remote environment whereby the cohesion might not be that good. If we were working in an office, you'll find that if I have a challenge, I will go to the coffee area, prepare my coffee, go to Jean's table and ask Jean, excuse me, Jean, I was trying to do this and I was not able. Then Jean will tell me, the problem you were facing, I remember Richard had it last month. Can we go to Richard to show us how he solved it? So you find that with this remote kind of working, these are the skills that come into play. And you find that project managers we know how to solve these challenges. So, because we have been able to work with larger teams, Scrum teams are normally less than 9 in most cases. But you find that based on other Agile principles, you find a team or a tribe can have 20 people. But project managers per se have been having teams that are, you may even have 7 teams, several project managers under you, and you are able to ensure the communication is flowing. So that is a very important skill that you will be able to take to Agile. So don't abandon that. Another attribute is appreciate feedback. Sometimes when we are project managers, we can create, let me use the God persona, whereby people might not feel comfortable coming to you because you are the guy who reprimands people. You are the guy who actually has the Gantt chart and chasing people to deliver deadlines. But when it comes to Agile or becoming a Scrum Master, you must be approachable. And the only aspect that allows you to be approachable is when you appreciate feedback. Today, I got some negative feedback from one team member, and I took it nicely. And I said, okay, thank you. But next time when you have such a challenge, don't wait for 3 days. I am available on chat, I am available on WhatsApp. Just let me know, and we are able to sort it out. So create that, remove those barriers. And those barriers come when people know that they can give you feedback, and that feedback they have given you will not impact them negatively in their performance appraisal. Yeah. Learn to protect the team like a mother hen. This is something that Scrum Masters or Agile actually prescribes. Make sure that your team is not heavily or negatively influenced by outside stakeholders. You don't need a stakeholder to actually come direct to the team. Jean, I can see your hand is up.
Thanks, Edward.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No
I
problem.
think I'm getting very assured by what you're telling me, because
Yes.
seasoned project managers already have the attributes of what you're showing
Thank you.
as Scrum
Yes.
Master,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I think this comes as a result of being seasoned, because
Yes.
they're experienced. They know that collaboration is needed.
Yeah.
They're enablers because they know that they're working with people. They're
Yes.
mentors, they're protectors. They're protecting the team, making sure that everybody is feeling like they belong. And if they've
Yes.
got adverse influences, they can come in.
Yeah.
So that means that project managers, seasoned project managers, are already Scrum Masters, right? And they're already
Definitely.
right,
That's where
because
I'm
there's
heading.
no separation between
Yes.
actually the two, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that's where I'm heading. Yes.
I'll buy you tea.
No, no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So protect the team, which we normally do, like what Jean has said. So you find that when somebody comes to know why this deadline has not been achieved, project managers will use that saying, don't worry, I will follow up and let you know what the problem is. So same thing with the Scrum Masters. You get whipped during meetings, but you do not go and say, so and so was the one who delayed. And I remember Tuesday, I was asked to give a report in terms of where everything is, who's assigned what bugs. And what I did is I would say assign to the team, assign to the team, assign to the team. And when they wanted them to be drilled down, I assigned them to the team leader. I was asked no, but one person cannot be assigned all this. Said, don't worry, the team leader is assigned and they know who is skilled enough to actually solve the problem. So you find that the business does not need to know. Maybe Eric is the front end guy, Brian is the iOS guru, Collins is the Android guru. No, no, no. For them, they just need to know that the team is working on this and it will be delivered within 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or maybe even after a week. Another thing is I would recommend if you are thinking of making this transition, look for a mentor who is good in Agile, and they will show you the ropes and especially the pitfalls that you are supposed to avoid. Join an Agile community or an Agile team, and then you are okay. Thirdly, zero in on the role you want within Agile. Scrum Master is one of the roles. Other frameworks like Safe 5 have things like called release train. They have a consultant, architect, and other roles. So you have a look at them, see where you fit in, then make the transition. But I will tell you that at first, when I was doing this transition, I think it was in 2020, I was a bit scared and I was thinking that I will not be able to actually be able to deliver. But I discovered that I was actually acing it, even acing it better than guys who maybe started from Scrum and Agile and have no idea what waterfall is, what software development cycle is, or other aspects attributed to even project management like Prince 2. But based on the information I had from other domains in project management, made actually Agile very easy. Makes it easy for us to actually know when the organization is tipping towards waterfall, and we will tell them, no, that is not the right way. It should be this way, but we can accommodate this as we transition towards going towards a fully agile environment. So it makes it very easy for seasoned project manager or program managers to actually move towards agile or being a scrum master, because we do not offer much resistance to the organization. We don't go there in the vision that it is either this or not. We are able to accommodate the way they have been working and easily transition them towards the agile way or the agile framework, or even choosing the methodology that they want to use within the agile space. So don't let anybody try to tell you that since you are a project manager, you're a PMP, you are maybe Prince2 certified, that you cannot be good at actually doing anything associated with Agile. Maybe the challenge might be you being a dev, a developer, but other roles like Scrum Master, Product Owner, they will come easy at your fingertips. The only things that you might need to are those things that I've said. Be more collaborative than the guy being I would say, the hub in communication. Sometimes when you're a project manager, you might want to be copied in all the communication so that you keep abreast to what is happening. But in the agile environment, you are able to make sure the teams are able to talk without you actually being there. I have worked with some of you here in other, I can say, scenarios whereby I get my team and your team to come into a meeting room, and both of us Scrum Masters leave because we no longer need to be there. We have set the environment to allow the two teams to work, collaborate, exchange ideas. If they need anything else, they can rope us in, maybe to organize another session, or maybe remove a blocker that they both cannot be able to sort out. So you find that being a Scrum Master, when it comes to communication, you don't need to be the hub or the router that allows communication to flow through you. You are just actually the enabler. You get the right parties on the table to discuss and solve issues. And if you will be there, maybe to facilitate or maybe assist them when they are having an argument, so there is a bit of decorum in the room. Questions? I think I've talked a lot. Eric?
Whoa, spot on what you've covered. No questions from me, Edward. Thanks.
Okay. Jean?
Edward, I just wrote a comment because I agree with what you just said in
Yes.
terms of, as you come in as a seasoned project manager,
Yeah.
and you're in a project situation where you can see, wow, we need to balance either the waterfall or we need to maybe up the agility. I think that there's a lot of, they're able to guide the project in a way that maybe most people might not be able to, in terms of understanding, hey, what is best for the project. So
Yes.
I agree with that. I agree that, and I'm glad that being a seasoned project manager means that actually you're very flexible, and you can, you're very agile, actually, without even knowing it. Yeah, I like that. Thanks.
Yeah. So you find that this myth is normally perpetrated by agilists who have never done anything to do with project management, and they want maybe like to discourage or like to show PMs are pariahs, they cannot fit here. But if you are agile enough, and let me use this term, for project managers who are project managers maybe by heart, you will find that they will do an infrastructure project, they will do an ERP project, they will do a CRM project. Even if needed, they will go for a bit of a construction project. So you find they're already agile enough in their mindset. Yeah. So when they do the transition towards an agile framework, it's easy for them. The only challenge they might have is understanding the terminologies. And that by getting a good book, paying maybe a class via Udemy, or maybe actually attaching yourself to a Scrum Master for a month or so, you will be good. You'll be good. I know of a gentleman who I told them to shadow me for a month. And nowadays, when I attend their sessions, they're actually better than me because they actually went further, paid for those Udemy classes, spent a lot of time on YouTube. There are enough videos for you to actually see. And when you look at that, you find that this is not actually as hard as people make you believe, rather than you have actually been doing it. But the problem is in project management, it is structured and maybe fixed. But now in Agile, it gives you the room for your artistic and other skills for you to flow, for them to flow out. Okay, Dennis.
Thank you very much for your engagement on this. Some of us are very green on it. Maybe perhaps what I wanted to ask for myself is we've talked about mentorship and maybe having some time in terms of getting to know more about the Scrum Master and everything else.
Yeah.
Is it possible for people in the group to volunteer, or maybe how do you go about? Because some of us are sparsely located.
Okay.
Maybe seeing someone who can maybe advise you through the whole idea.
Okay.
And perhaps some of us even getting the exposure in terms of the PMI software and the rest. I mean, being green means you are new into it. So
Okay.
do you, as people around this event, do you normally have where you mentor the young ones or those people who are venturing in? If there is that, or maybe if there are people who can volunteer so that maybe we can attach ourselves to them so that we can continue growing slowly together. Yeah. And I think I've met you personally, and I like how you normally, engage people and maybe be direct on point. So I really like to know if there's that. I'm really interested. Thank you.
Okay, so this one I will first throw to Jean. Jean, if there is a way you can formalize maybe the mentorship program within PMI, and maybe for quick fix, I will throw my name there as well as throw the name of Eric there for us to offer mentorship for now, before the whole structure is maybe formalized or organized. But me and Eric are always willing to assist anybody who's willing to learn and take the path. Even another person I will actually nominate, even without asking them, is Richard Magu. So those are three people that I know who will definitely actually assist in that mentorship program for anybody actually willing to do the transition. Okay, Eric? Dennis, I think that is okay for now, yeah? I believe you have my contacts, you have the contacts of Eric, and you have the contacts of Dennis for Richard, yeah?
Yeah, I have the contacts of Eric and yours, so maybe I'll contact you later.
Definitely, no problem.
Thank,
Reach out.
thank you.
Eric? Eric, your hand is up. I think you're on mute. Eric? Okay, well, Eric sorts his mic issues. Any other question? Richard, any comment from you? Okay, the room is silent. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Ah, okay. I was
Yes,
wondering.
you are.
Edward, you're so audible. I don't know why Richard and Eric they've decided to go mute. I think they're scared of the mentorship thing.
Yes, that's why I'm wondering. Even Eric has dropped out, maybe some communication challenges, but he will pop back again. But back to Dennis. Dennis, so normally what I do is anybody may be interested. I normally just share the materials that are there. And I think I will also share with you some of the material that actually Eric assisted me to get someone to pass the PSM. That is the Professional Scrum Master exam. So information is free. When I have time, I normally share. I have dealt with some people in this group and I normally tell them that it might take long because sometimes you may contact me and you need some information. I will normally respond and tell you when I have time to actually assist you. And I normally do get back to you. Eric, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I had raised up my hand just to respond to Dennis. And
Yeah.
okay, just a minute. Yes, so I just wanted to inform maybe Dennis and anyone else that PMI is an amazing place. Since I joined it not too long ago, maybe 2 years ago, I found people who are more than willing to help each other. So it will be very easy for you to get a mentor. Anyone who has been mentioned and even others will be would be willing to bend backwards in order to accommodate you. That's one thing that I noted about PMI. So whether it's PMP related or PMI ACP or Agile, Scrum, anything, you would get somebody who's willing to assist. That's one quality that you will find with most people in PMI. So it's easy. Don't shy away. Just reach out to anyone, even somebody you don't know. I guess it comes from the code of ethics and all that. People are willing to help other project managers. So feel free just to talk to anyone. Thanks.
Yeah. Edward Wimbo.
Yeah, thanks so much, Edward, for that presentation. Similar to Dennis, joined the call with quite a bit of curiosity around the subject, and definitely feel that you have answered quite a few of the questions that I had burning. But I just wanted to know from your experience, because you talked about project management, you talked about program management, and I think portfolio.
I just wanted to see if there is something equivalent that is mirrored across the Scrum sort of agile type of discipline, or once you're already in agile, it applies across whatever sort of comparative level within the project portfolio and program management space.
Okay. I don't know whether I should push that question to Richard to answer more in terms of other disciplines. So you find that other agile frameworks other than Scrum are able to cater to that level of detail. You find things like safe, you find things, safe is scaled framework, and also discipline agile look at not only the software level of deployment, but they also look at the program level, enterprise level, as well as portfolio level within the organization. So you find that, yes, there are those concepts within Agile that caters into that. But you find that in some, the Scrum team is I would say the basic unit to building into that. So you will still find that you can become a Scrum Master, but there is the portfolio manager up there who actually looks at the whole vision of the organization, such that the organization is able to deliver their vision based on Agile. So this does not throw away that whole organization structure whereby you will have maybe a portfolio manager or a program manager. So this is just another way of delivering those components.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think because of the name Master, it's easy to make the assumption that Scrum Master is the Mr. Miyagi
No,
of
of everything.
of everything.
Let me see whether I can get that something similar so that I show you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thanks for that explanation.
Yeah. Richard, any info you might tell about discipline agile, how it looks into that? Dennis, I can see your hand is up.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I lost you guys. Sorry.
Oh, welcome back. So let me try and look for skilled agile to show Ed what he was talking about. Let me see. I think I have it somewhere. Let me share my screen. So can you see my screen? Ed, can you see my screen?
Yep, it's up.
So as you can see, this is a safe framework, and you can see it still has the portfolio level, program level, team level. So the value stream, you have the epics, you have the features. So it does not eliminate that. And when you go down level at the team level, this is where you have the actual sprints. Yeah. So it still does not eliminate maybe the program manager role, does not eliminate the portfolio manager role. They might have different names within the organizational structure. They might not be called a program manager or a portfolio manager. If the organization is purely agile, they might have another name for that. But remember that at the end of the day, the portfolio level is actually more to look at the value of what you are doing to attain the strategy of the organization. So that still does not get eliminated even if you are using Agile. You might find an organization, they have the program level, they have some projects being run under Waterfall, others under Scrum, others under maybe XP, others under Kanban. So you'll find at this portfolio level, for them, all they don't want is for whatever is happening downstairs to be able to achieve the vision that is required. But now here is where somebody like Jean with her knowledge comes into play. So Jean being a portfolio and a program manager for years, having some knowledge within both agile and project and program, she will be able to tell the organization, sorry, if you want to achieve what you want to achieve faster and get something to the market, I believe the agile approach might be the best way for us to achieve that. Now, here you bring the knowledge of both. If you know the ordinary way of running projects, and now you have been exposed to the agile way, you are able to convince the C-suites and even other major stakeholders in the organization. And let's say you are dealing with marketing and you need to get something in the market fast, you will tell them, yes, the only way for us to achieve this is via an agile methodology, maybe through Scrum. Yet, you might tell them that since what we want to deliver needs to go through rigorous testing, needs to ensure that it gets all the regulatory organization to approve, sprint or Scrum cannot be the best way. We need to go through the waterfall process. So now you having the knowledge in both worlds make it very easy for you to be able to deliver this for the organization.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Thanks for that. That's clear.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, so if there are no other questions, so let me now throw in a couple of questions and maybe a couple of ideas. So everybody normally asks, which agile methodology framework do you think I need to take? There is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. What I will just tell you is learn what each of us, if it's XP, if it is lean, if it is Kanban, if it is discipline agile, if it is safe, just try and see what is there. Now map out to whether are you doing this for the organization you are working for? Are you doing this for your own personal knowledge? Are you doing this for your next career? And if you're doing it for your next career, look at what the market wants now, what the market wants in future. No need for you to go and study or spend time learning something that maybe is obsolete. Somebody shocked me when they saw a couple of job adverts, I think from UNOPS, United Nations Office for Project Support or something, that all those project manager roles, they did not ask for skills in Agile. They asked somebody who has experience in software development lifecycle. So that tells you that for them, whatever they are producing, they are not in a hurry for them to get it into the market, or they are not chasing prototyping as the approach to go. So based on that, try and see where you best fit. For me, I would say I followed Scrum and now I'm looking at Discipline Agile because I'm seeing Discipline Agile allows a bit of wiggle room to actually bring in what is happening in waterfall and other aspects within the organization, and try to create a hybrid of what is required for you to be able to deliver in organizations that are purely not built for agile but are moving towards that. Yeah. So that is the approach I took. Somebody else might take something different. I know guys who have done their Scrum certification, get thrown to the employment world and start complaining, saying that, oh, this one is not Scrum as I was hoping it to be. It's more of a hybrid. And that is because you find that some were not exposed to program management, so they will struggle. So you guys who have experience in project management, program management, you will literally fly when it comes to Scrum and other Agile facets. The only thing you need maybe to tone down is you going there in a bossy attitude. Servant leadership is a must. So see how you can build into that. For me, I actually had to go for a class for me to actually learn to be more of a servant leader than being a bully in meetings. So that was my path. Floor is open. Back to you, Jean. Back to you, Brenda. I think I am done for the talking for the day.
All right, thank you so much, Edward. As always, very insightful. I always learn something, everything actually. We need to give guys some time to ask questions. More questions so that we see we can close on this.
Maybe
I had a
information
question.
overload. Maybe I talked too much, people forgot the questions.
In fact, I wanted to say I had a question, but you answered it just the last minute of conversation. Because I was thinking, okay, what do I do? Is it Scrum? Is it DA? Is it? But you answered it actually, because I thought this market is more of Scrum Masters, And then I've been looking at the DA as well. Well, so when you answered that question, it actually made things a bit clear. Yeah, and thank you so much for that. Any more questions? So if you don't have any more questions, I'd want to say thank you so much for attending this webinar. Just to let you or to remind you that we have the AGM coming through on 7th of April. Please register for that. It's an hybrid, it's both virtual and physical. We want to know how many are coming in as physical, though the seats are very, it's a fast come, fast serve. So I would want to get those numbers as soon as possible. And as Edward was trying to, when he was giving his presentation, he kept mentioning about getting these materials. You'll always get them in pmi.org. And if you're not a member of PMI, please join through. Thank you so much, Edward, Eric, and Richard for being volunteering to be mentors. Please reach out to them as well. From me today, thank you so much. And that's it for me. I don't know if Abdul is still in, but is he still in? I knew he was leaving.
He
Abdul,
has
are you
dropped. He is not there. He has dropped.
Hi,
there?
hello everybody.
Ah,
I'm
he's
here.
there.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for attending tonight's webinar. I thank you, Edward. Always happy to have you on our platform with your very insightful presentations and your knowledge sharing. We do appreciate you. Thank you everybody for attending, and we hope to see you again in our upcoming webinar. Thank you everybody, and have a good night.
Okay, bye.